Hello? Ron?
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh, wow.
I think I'm live, too.
Yes.
There's I don't know if there's an echo going on or what.
There is an echo.
There is an echo. Welcome to our simulcast that we may or may not have gotten right.
We did this once before, but it worked. This time
do
you hear an echo when I speak?
I don't hear an echo. I hear like you're kind of tin canny.
Yeah. Let me check. Oh, I know what it might be. The settings on your one are probably no. Let me try.
It could just be the way it comes in on my headphones, though. But I think for you might want to put headphones in.
How about now?
Check.
Well, now it's getting super crazy echoes on my end. Let me check. Ron's got an echo now. Just Ron. They're saying on my stream, they're saying just Ron has an echo.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. I don't hear an echo from you. I just hear you kind of like potently. Now I hear you just fine.
Yeah, now there's like a crazy echo again. All right. I do have headphones on, everybody.
Oh, you do?
I do have an earpiece in, but let me change this one. There. How's that?
It sounds fine to me. Am I echoing?
Yeah, it's like your fans are hearing me echo. People listening on your stream are hearing me echo, and my stream they're hearing you echo.
The world is just an echo.
I mean, if we've ever been accused of having an echo chamber in the indie left media, this
is it. This is the ultimate echo chamber. What we're doing right now. We are doing the ultimate echo chamber.
All right, why don't we do this, everybody?
The duopoly is bad. It's 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 bad. We need to break the oligarchy.
Medicare for all.
Green New Deal. The climate is collapsing. Vegan smoothies.
Oh, nobody cares. Gun
truck.
Do you want me to just like I shut mine off and we do it? We say what we got to say on yours, and then we shut yours off and say what we say on mine, and then just
we go back and forth.
Because this is
this is weird. I don't know what we should. Well, now people are saying there's not an echo
in your chat. What and everybody listening on my chat and my show, do you hearing an echo from either Ron or myself? Kate, what are you hearing?
Kate, what are you hearing? Bounce between streams and tell us.
I can hear Ron echo. Someone is saying in my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, from our side, on the Graham side, they're hearing a Ron echo. But on the Ron side, they're not hearing a Graham echo?
Yeah, that's apparently there's no echo.
Oh, your echo just stopped. What'd you do?
Really? I don't know. I just believed in myself. All right, so I think we fixed it.
Yeah.
I guess we got it. Yeah, people are saying it's sounding good, and I'm not hearing that echo anymore either.
The echo's gone.
You know what, man? I just prayed hard.
God, Ron, that was manifested no echo.
I manifested no echo. That's what happened. I just manifested it.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's fixed, so don't touch anything else. All right, everybody. So welcome to Get Your News On with Ron and the Political Vigilante.
Get your news on with the vigilante. Political news on with Ron. There's a number of ways we could go about this.
Make Gotham get its news on with Ron.
Yeah.
Great. A vigilante again.
Lucy says, "Meow, make Gotham great."
Lucy says, "Shave your knuckles for justice."
Yeah, shave your paws for justice. That's the name of this stream. Shave your paws for justice. Don't ever shave an animal's paws.
Don't.
But you know,
do not
trim
shave your human paws.
Yeah, you can trim the nails for justice. You can do that. Trim them. Just a small trim.
Someone put in the chat, thoughts and prayers working as usual.
Yep, you know it.
So we're gonna make this announcement, and then we'll maybe split.
We're gonna bounce off of we're gonna just bounce to our own streams after we make this announcement.
After we make this announcement. So there's this thing called the Delta variant, and we're gonna have to cancel all of our October tour dates, and the California dates that we're doing are all still happening. San Francisco, September 11th, Sacramento, September 12th, Flappers and Burbank, September 15th, and the Government Secret Show I'm doing with Lee on September 18th. Those 4 shows in California are all still happening. All of those venues require vaccine proof and tests, I believe. The 2 in San Francisco and Sacramento, those are Live Nation venues. They said proof of vaccine. That's it. So those shows are all still happening. And I don't know, Ron, you want to start with the explanation of why? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sure. First of all, this was a very difficult decision. We went back and forth on this an awful lot, and it sucks so hard. I mean, there are not words for how hard this sucks. But we just, we're in a worse place now than we were at this time last year. There's more cases now than there were last year at this time. And we thought about, okay, doing a 3-week run pretty much all across the country. What would that mean? What would happen if somebody got sick at one of our shows? What would happen if one of us got sick and had to quarantine? And, I get that the world is, starting to reopen, and we're probably not going to do another lockdown or anything like that. That's just not going to happen. So everybody is just living in a world where they're just calculating risk with whatever it is they do. And I get that. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what we did here. We really miss performing live. It's breaking all of our hearts. And when I don't just mean Graham and I mean every live performer in this freaking world. We're all hurting so hard. And we just decided that, doing some kind of regionally local stuff, that's one thing. But going out for 3 weeks and going all over the place with the variant the way it is, that's probably just not wise. And we scheduled this tour in March thinking that we were playing it safe by picking the fall. We're like, well, by fall, it'll be
done.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
All these people who are going out in June, that's a little, but us, we're smart. We're picking the fall. Turns out it wasn't the best decision, but who could have seen that coming?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I just want people to understand. So, if you look at our tour dates, we had in the month of October, I think 21 shows in 28 days, which means basically a different city every night. A couple cities, this tour started October 2nd, basically. And then we're going to keep going. We're going to drive for most of it. I mean, we've been back and forth on all of this. Maybe we don't fly. We just drive and keep it safe. I mean, Ron and I have run through every possible scenario.
We really did.
And, maybe we just don't, maybe because Florida, that's really bad in Florida. Maybe we just don't do the Florida day, or maybe we don't do this, or maybe we just cancel it, or just do this or just the front part, or just these cities, and so it's like, and I've seen it here locally. A couple comics tested positive, and they had to cancel some shows, and the comics were vaccinated, so they were just sick for a couple days, but they had to sit inside their apartments for a week. And I'm like, if that happens to Ron and I are both vaccinated. So if one of us gets it, I mean, here's a scenario. Like we're in Philadelphia, and the comedy club in Cleveland calls us and says, hey, one of our staff, because this happened to me here in Honolulu, one of the wait staff tested positive for COVID, so now everyone's at the show's got to go get tested. So Ron and I go get tested, and one of us tests positive, even if we're asymptomatic.
Right.
And all right, so now we have to sit in a hotel room and wherever we're at.
And whatever other cities we hit since then. I mean, that's the thing too. Like let's say one of us was exposed. Well, I mean, if one of us is exposed, obviously both of us are going to be. But like, we're both exposed. We don't find out for 3 days or 4 days.
Right.
We have potentially played 3 or 4 more cities. So
Yes.
we have to then contact all of those cities, contact the hotels we were at. I mean, and it's just
email all of the ticket buyers.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, and what if somebody got really sick? I mean, and it's just that as much as this sucks, and it sucks hard, but as much as it sucks, it would suck even more if like one person got seriously ill or worse. I mean, I'd be like, that'd be mortifying for everybody. I mean, how would you feel? So, when you factor all those things in and think, gee, how safe is doing a run like this right now? And a lot of bands are making those similar calls too, where, they're doing some like one-off outdoorsy type things. Obviously, outdoorsy type things aren't really an option for comics, but, they're doing some kind of one-offs. They're kind of staying local. They're doing some stuff and just being as careful as possible. And that's fine. But, the longer runs, a lot of people are staying away from them. I mean, some people have canceled entirely. Some bands, like, they've converted all of their tours to outdoors. As comics, we don't, it's not really possible for us to do that. I wish if it was, I'd fucking do it. If it was, I would totally be like, hey, all of we're getting tents and generators. But it's for comedy that's very, 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 very difficult.
It's difficult to do. And also the other thing too is, so I know some of the guys in the band 11, and they started going on the road in, I think, August. They're a huge band, that they have a huge management team and all this. We're playing 100-seat rock clubs in some cases, or
I mean, guys, they're so big, Graham has heard of them. That's how big of a band they are. Like, Graham knows who they are, guys.
And the only reason I know who they are is because I met them and I was on their cruise ship. That's when I was like, oh yeah, now I know them.
That's so funny. Was it awkward when you met them? Because like, were they like, yeah, we're 311, and you're like, oh, is that what do you guys make a magazine or something? What's that all about?
Is that like
no, you haven't heard down? You haven't heard any of our you haven't, like, I don't know. Is that on the radio? Is that were you guys in a movie? I might know it. Were you in a movie?
Did I tell you I'm good friends with Joey McIntyre? That's happened when I met Joey McIntyre. We started talking, we were like buddies, and we're like talking on the phone about stuff, and he was telling me he was putting this tour together with the Backstreet Boys. And he was like, we were just talking. He's like, well, you're a community. And he's just like running some stuff by me. Like, what do you think of this? We're putting this tour, and there's just a lot of logistics. And I thought he was saying it would be as if the New Kids on the Block and the Backstreet Boys were doing a tour together. And so I started saying, well, you could do this, and let's say you're this. And it became clear that I didn't know who he was or what he was talking about. And he goes, no, wait, Graham, I'm in New Kids on the Block. And I was like, oh, for real? He starts laughing. He goes, don't you know your boy bands?
You're like, I thought that was a TV show, like the Little Rascals or something. That's an actual. Did you guys have a TV show? I thought you were like, is it like the Monkees?
So I literally was like, oh, wow. So do you have any shows around town? He's like, yeah, the Staples Center. Like that's where.
No shit. That's.
So, and since then I've seen them live. I've seen New Kids on the Block live a bunch. Their shows are a blast. It's, like.
That's so funny. You had no clue.
No clue.
Like, hey man, I could help you guys out getting booked at a comedy club if that would work for you. I mean, could you guys do your thing there? Sometimes they do like quirky music things. Would you be open to like a Sunday brunch thing? They might be into that.
I don't know. Can they handle 20,000 people at the Sunday brunch? Boy, I don't know. Let me see. Like,
One time,
their show for the first time, by the way, and it's at the Staples Center, and it's like hydraulic stages and just dance numbers. They're on wires. I'm like, and afterwards I was like, dude, you sang and danced for 2.5 hours. Like, that was amazing. Just like, I had no idea. I'm like, I tell jokes for 45 minutes on stage. I'm like, oh, I can't even handle this. I'm beat, just standing there being sarcastic with a microphone in my hand.
Yeah, right. Dude, one time I performed for a member, like a team player on the New England Patriots, and I had no idea that he was on the Patriots. Like, I had no idea, and he was just talking like it was some fundraiser thing, and he was just talking, and he kept talking about his roommate Gronkowski, and I just thought it was a coincidence. It was just like someone with the same name, and I was like, and I'm like, God, dude. Boston area is great, man. What part of town do you live in? And he goes, Foxborough. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm just like, no shit, man. Do you ever get to any games? And he goes, I get to a lot of them.
I've been to most of them. Not every Sunday. I'm there.
As of recent, I've really been catching them. And then I see him signing his freaking headshot where he has a football helmet on, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're on the team.
Oh, you play football? Is there any money in that? Is that like a startup? I mean,
do they pay you for that? No shit. That's.
Do you ever get to any of the games? Yep. Ever since I signed with the team, I've been at every single game.
The people in Boston, are they into it? Do they like that out there? I don't know. What are they into?
What's the ticket sales like up there?
What are the tickets? How do you guys draw there? I know they like hockey. Are they into the thing you do too?
Hey, how do the Patriots draw in Boston? How do they do
now? How do you guys draw in comparison to a hurling match? Where do you stack up? Is it like almost the same?
Do you guys know of any good 100-seat venues that my buddy Ron and I could do a show in? Do you guys know?
Maybe you could open for us.
So anyway, folks, back to the canceling the tour thing.
Yeah, this really sucks. This
This is how comedians deal with pain. We laugh. But yeah, it blows. And one of the things is we did not want to. It's not just like being stuck in a hotel room having to cancel shows and lose money. It's about what if somebody came to one of our shows and got sick, and we couldn't live with ourselves, and we didn't want to do that. So
that's the only thing that sucks harder than canceling a tour. Like the only thing that sucks more than cancel. Well, there's a lot of things in life that suck more, but you know what I mean. Like for reference, the only thing that sucks more than canceling a tour in the touring world is not canceling, but someone gets really sick or worse. Yeah, that's worse.
Have no interest in having a super spreader event. And so we're just not going to do that. We're just doing these. Ron and I are doing 3 shows. I'm doing 4, including the government secret show in California, where the venues all require vaccines. 3 of the venues require all 4 of the. I think Dynasty Typewriter might be the only one that gives you the option of negative test or vaccine proof. The other 3, Flappers, Sacramento Punchline, and Cobb's in San Francisco. Those 3 venues are all vaccine proof or not in. You can't come in.
Yes.
So I feel better. That means as an audience member, you feel safe. The staff feels safe. Everybody feels good about that. And the people that yelled at me a month ago on Twitter, glad you're not showing up. So we just, and, also, some of you have emailed us and said in our chats, hey, I haven't bought a ticket yet because I'm not sure. I don't feel safe. And some of you are concerned. I don't blame you. I don't think I would go to see a band play in a 100 or 200 seat rock club venue, even if I'm
and that kind of sucks too, because it's like, I don't want I know that no matter what happens when you tour, not everyone's going to be able to attend every show. That's just how it goes. People work. You're only coming into town for one night. But the idea that some people wouldn't be able to attend because they just don't feel safe or because they just don't feel comfortable indoors yet, that's just a freaking bummer. Because it's not like we get to go to every city all the time. We don't. It's a big world out there. We want to do more international stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bummer in that regard. Like, where it's like, we don't want people to not come out because they don't feel safe. So that was another reason why we thought it was best to cancel.
And it you know, like Ron and I have had numerous conversations, not just with Ron and I have talked a lot about this, but we've each also separately talked to a lot of our comedian and musician friends about what they're doing. We've heard about bands, you know what, some comic friends of mine specifically, and I know Ron too, are like, I got to go on the road. And they're trying to make it work. And, you know, because they don't have any other ways to earn a living. And while this sucks, and this is the second year in a row that we have now lost a third of our revenue was coming from the road, gone 2 years in a row, gone. Yeah. We're both grateful that we at least have our shows on YouTube and Rockfin, and you know they're keeping the lights on. So we're very grateful for that. We're grateful to all of you, and it's sorry and it breaks our heart, and we're frustrated and we're mad. And I want to say this too: if you have a pre-existing condition and don't want to and can't get the vaccine, I totally get that. If you have fears about getting the vaccine, I understand that too. And I would suggest talking to your doctor and really making a decision. But those that are like able-bodied, healthy, and are not just, I don't want to, for whatever reason, just know that that has a ramification. This is a society and there's a social contract and we all have to participate in it. And we can't get to do what we want to do. I mean, Iceland has a 90% vaccine rate and their hospitals are not full. So, I mean, I'm just saying, and I've already taken a ton of shit for this. I don't care if I take more. That's why I keep making the TikToks. I'm really like, there's other people being affected, just so you know. And I know there's subtleties and gray areas to this discussion and debate, and it shouldn't be black and white. And I'm glad the like reactionary crazies have just flipped out and left. I don't want them as fans. I want critical thinkers. And you can't have free Assange in your Twitter handle and then call me a Nazi. Sorry, you should be about freedom of speech, and we have a right to say this and a right to. And we didn't force anyone. No one's forcing you to get the vaccine if you come to our shows. You just have to make a choice. You can't everybody doesn't get to do everything. You don't get to do everything. I don't get to play in the NBA because I want to. I don't have, like everyone, we don't get to do everything. So I just want people to understand that. I just really want you to understand that, that this like not taking others and into account, like there's rules in society. And does this mean I love big pharma? No, it just means we should question big pharma, but that doesn't mean all medications are bad. Anyone who's taking a prescription drug who doesn't want to take big pharma, who doesn't want to take the vaccine, okay, did you do and they're like, do your research. Did you research every prescription drug you take on a daily basis? Did you read all of the studies? Have you done that? Or did you trust your doctor? Huh.
Well, and that's the thing, man. I mean, I researched what was in the vaccine. I did some research about it and I chose to get it. I was like, I feel comfortable getting this. I'm going to get it. And I'm glad I did. And, you know, I understand concerns that people have. I understand, like you pointed out, like there are some people that, you know, like they, for whatever reason, shouldn't get it. And when I say for whatever reason, I mean, like for medical reasons, I don't know all the ins and outs of each one. But again, that's a conversation to have with your doctor. You know, don't ask comedians on YouTube for freaking medical advice. We're not qualified to give it to you. Have that conversation with your doctor.
Yeah. And I don't want that responsibility. Like,
I don't either.
What should I do? I don't know. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, yeah. And I've gotten those emails and I'm sure you have too.
Yes,
and it's like,
yes.
I don't know who you are. I don't know your medical history. I'm not a doctor. I have no qualifications. I'm not a scientist. I can tell you what I did, and you
Yes.
can take that for what it is. And I can tell you, like I don't have any, significant health conditions or anything like that. I'm a, 30 something relatively healthy dude, and I made a choice, and, take that for what it is. But I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do other than talk to your doctor. I can tell you that. And sadly, because of the healthcare system we have in this country, some people don't get to do that, which really freaking sucks. And that's, a
That's
whole
awful.
different thing.
That's a whole nother, that's again why we're big proponents of Medicare for all. But I just like, everyone's like, you don't know what's in it and you're putting that in your body. So I, as a comedian, I find the hypocrisy and the jokes in that. That's why I'm like making these TikToks, because it's a way for me to vent my frustrations in a comedic fashion. Cause I'm like, have you ever had a Diet Coke? You know what phenylalanine is? It's in every Diet Coke, as is aspartame, which causes cancer. So I just like I understand the fears, but, and the concerns, but there's people in third world countries begging for this vaccine. I'll tell you that. And that's the thing that's starting to bother me, is I'm seeing only people in first world countries say, I don't want this vaccine, and no vaccine mandates. And while there's third world countries, people are dying. Like, it's insane what's happening in India and other poor countries like that. They're not getting the vaccine, and the big pharmaceutical companies.
That's who's responsible for it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you can't forget that part of the conversation too, where it's like, Big Pharma is denying these shots to a lot of places around the world because they don't have the money to pay for it. And that is significant, because where does a variant spread the most? Well, it spreads the most among the most vulnerable groups of people. Who are the most vulnerable groups of people? Large portions of people who are completely unvaccinated, because they don't even have the choice to get the shot or not.
Yes.
I know the shots aren't foolproof. They're not. There's breakthrough cases. And honestly, I have a feeling there's a little bit more than we realize, as far as, because it's still a new thing, and it does happen. I know a couple people in my personal life who they were fully vaccinated, still got it. You do too. So these things are not foolproof. No one's saying they are. But when you have large countries full of people where nobody has gotten any shots because they can't, they don't get to make that choice to get it or not get it. It's not available to them because of Big Pharma. So,
and the other thing too, all of the vaccinated people I know that have gotten it, none of them were hospitalized. So that's again, and people go, they still got it. Well, no, they weren't hospital. That's what the vaccine promised. The vaccine never promised you're not going to get it. You're less likely to get it. You're less likely to transmit it. If you do get it, you're way less likely to be hospitalized. 90% of the hospitalizations of COVID patients right now are unvaccinated people.
Right.
So that means that still 10% of vaccinated people are going, and who knows, there's all these other factors to take into consideration. What are they eating? What are they drinking? What other medications are they on? What are these how are they counteracting? I don't know. We don't know. I mean, if somebody who drinks a lot, smokes cigarettes, smokes weed, are they doing other drugs? Do they have a bunch of prescriptions they have to do? Do they have heart medication? Do they have anxiety meds, anything like that? Who knows? And that's for the doctors and the scientists to figure out. But I just like, yeah, you're right. When people are like Big Pharma, I'm like, Big Pharma is the reason poor countries aren't getting this. There's also the United States State Department. Look at this. So the Sputnik V vaccine, which some people say is maybe the most effective one, the Russians offered it to Brazil. Bolsonaro doesn't give a shit about his people. My ex-wife is Brazilian. I'm still friends with her. And she's like, people from her city in Manaus, she goes, Graham, so many people have just died because he didn't give a shit. And it's not third world, but it's a developing country. So people are packed onto buses. You don't get to remote work when you live in a third world country, or even just America. If you do essential workers, you can't remote work working in a grocery store. You can't Zoom in delivering food. You can't Zoom in, working in a hospital. You can't Zoom in making clothes or whatever. And they're in these other developing countries, people are packed onto the bus past the government mandated maximum, because there's no rules. They're just like, pack people onto this bus. And so people are getting it. So anyway, I want to just go back to the Sputnik V. The Russians offered it to Brazil. The United States came in and said, if you accept that, we will stop any of our money that we give Brazil. We won't help you at all if you take that. So they denied, the United States State Department denied Brazilians from getting a vaccine that could help save lives because it came from Russia. So I think I'm not hearing enough of that from the like lefty anti-vaxxers. I'm not hearing this conversation about how the State Department is once again leaning on people and letting people die because it wants to swing its dick around in Russia's face. So, yeah. I mean, we've sanctioned Iran through all of this. I have a friend in Tehran who got COVID. She's better now, thankfully. She went to the doctor and he's like, there was no treatment. There was nothing. She was like, he was just like, go home and rest. You know, that was it. There was nothing. Thankfully, she didn't need to be put on a respirator or anything like that. She's better now, but that's what the American State Department's doing. So that conversation needs to be had more because I'm not hearing anybody say that. I'm only seeing people in first world countries saying, I'm not putting that in my body and not giving a shit that there's billions of people begging for it. So I just want everyone to understand that. And I'm okay with new research on any treatments. I'm all for it.
Oh, me too. I'm all for it. I'm all for more solutions, not less. Yes, I mean, who is it? It's a freaking pandemic. It would just be nice if we put science and medicine first and politics second as a world, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Not at all. And America's and the reaction to this shows you once again how awful America's duopoly is. Look what the duopoly is causing. People debating science. Like, it's unbelievable. And we're all being lied to and propagandized and everything. So now there's this rampant, I don't trust anything. And anyone that says something I don't agree with, I'm just going to flip the fuck out and cancel them, which I'm tired of. And I want critical thinkers on this show. People are like, well, ivermectin might work. Great. Do some research. And don't just show me one doctor with one study.
They want to do an extensive thing in Japan. They're trying to do, and great. Like, and it looks like a really extensive study they're looking to do. And I sincerely hope they do it. And I look forward to seeing the results.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing the results. And also, someone just put science sucks in the chat. I just want you to know I'm going to block you because you're just being a fucking cunt. And I say cunt the way the Australians and the Brits men call other men cunts and women call men cunts. That's how I'm saying it. It was a guy, so he's a cunt. So that's the other thing too. I'm all for it. But the problem I'm seeing too is someone like, well, this one doctor with this one study, is it peer reviewed? And who is this doctor? Because we all know
whenever you do that, whenever people do that, and people have done that for so many things, like even people who try to say, well, masks aren't effective and blah, blah, blah. All you're doing when you do stuff like that, you're demonstrating you don't understand how the scientific method works. And we were all taught the scientific method in fourth grade, fifth grade. You're taught how people arrange variables a certain way. They test out hypothesis and they try to find consensus. And they test it and they test it and they test it. So over years and years and years, they tested what does putting a piece of cloth over your face do as far as the suppression of droplets is concerned. And the most common results that they have gotten time and time and time and time and time and time again is that it freaking suppresses droplets. That's what a mask freaking does. So a mask helps. Is it foolproof? Does putting on your mask make you Superman? No. Look, I've gotten the shot. And if I was still, I've gotten the shot. And if I had my mask on and they said, hey, do you want to get on this elevator? Everybody on the escalator, or elevator. I had it right the first time. Everyone on this elevator has COVID, but you've gotten the jab and you can wear your mask. Do you want to get on this elevator? I still wouldn't get on the freaking elevator. I know that this jab wasn't foolproof. I know that wearing a mask doesn't suppress everything. It just helps. But I did both those things because they freaking help. They help.
Yeah. I'm all for peer-reviewed studies. Like you say, more study, more data, more research. Oh, so-and-so had a negative reaction to the vaccine. Great. Let's find out why. What medications were on? Do they have pre-existing conditions? What's their diet? I want to hear what diet has to say about this. Because I've seen the news go, this person died from COVID and they had no pre-existing conditions. And they show a picture this one time that early in that thing was this young woman. She was in her 20s. She's the youngest COVID death. This was like in March or April last year. and she had no pre-existing conditions. She was 22 and they showed a picture of her. And, she was a good 80 to 100 pounds overweight. I'm sorry, that's a pre-existing condition. We need to know that. And that's not shaming anybody's body. I'm just saying that you can't say that's not a pre-existing condition. Somebody what is their diet? Are they eating crappy food? Are people on really healthy plant-based diets less likely to get it? What about blood type? Is blood type more or less? Let's find all of the information. I'm all for it. I'm all for as much information as possible. And if they say, hey, these vaccines aren't working as well, but let's find a new one. Let's find a cure. I'm all for it. But just this one, it's this extreme or the other. No way, man. And
yeah,
the other thing too, and now we're gonna have to go back and re-debate masks. No, I'm not debating the flat earth with you. I'm not debating it. I don't want, it's like, and this one doctor who isn't an epidemiologist, hasn't worked in viruses. I want someone that studied viruses. I want their opinion. I want their data and their research. And then I want 50 to 100 other doctors in the same field to peer review that person's study. That's what I want. So this one doctor with this one study, this sounds like the climate deniers. Oh, we found one doctor that's right. One scientist.
Well, that's that says and again, yeah, you don't know how the scientific method works.
Right.
But I will say, Graham, every rule has exception. And there is some speculation out there that cannabis helps prevent COVID. And that I have accepted uncritically. And if anything comes to the surface that contradicts that, I will not accept that. Ever since I saw that, I was just like, yes, that is totally, I don't need to see anything else. That is 100% true. I will accept nothing else. I loaded a bowl and I was like, hey, baby, come over. We're going to do some fucking science. And we've been doing science ever since. And that is you do not need, we figured that one out. Doctors, scientists, just drop it. It's 100% true. Cannabis for sure. Yeah. No questions. That one I accepted uncritically.
Good for you, Ron. And God bless you for you and your lovely wife doing some science.
We're doing what we can for science. We're like, well, I saw this one thing. We better frickin' do our part.
It's like every year there's some study that a new study says wine's good for you. And all these alcoholics go, yeah,
absolutely.
It makes you stronger or whatever the news So, and the other thing too, I want to say, as we've gone through all the emotions of this, Ron and I, and we've had numerous conversations, I was feeling really bad, really like the other day, like a couple days ago, and we were like, all right, we're going to have to do this now. This is going to happen. And we were planning, we had to email all the clubs and set a time. Let's do Wednesday. So the last couple of days have just been emailing the clubs and everybody. All the clubs have been really cool, by the way. Yes. This is the other thing that I just want to say why this sucks. I mean, these are small business. Most of these clubs are like small businesses. Yeah. Some of them are part of some bigger chains, but still they're small business. They're still businesses where a live show supports your local economy so much. I calculated one time, and I did this last year when everything got shut down. For one comedian to fly to another city to do one show, roughly 70 jobs are directly impacted. I counted everybody. The Lyft driver to the airport, the baggage claim person, the gate check, the hotel people I calculated all of them, roughly 70 jobs. So I just want people to know that, but I also, to put it in perspective is, what's going on in Afghanistan. And this is, maybe we'll talk about this separately or whatever, but I really haven't completely processed my emotions on this as a comedian that went there 3 times to see what's happening. Is there's Bagram Airport there's this. I've been to Bagram. I've been to Kabul. I've been to a bunch of these bases so I was really I can't believe this is happening. And this shit, it was the second year in a row I'm losing this tour, and we love performing, and part of our souls are dying by not performing, and bringing people comedy is me personally, what my purpose in this life is. And, but then I thought there's anyone in Afghanistan would kill to be a comedian in America canceling a tour. I mean, sure. They would kill to do it.
You put it in perspective.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll say this too, that, it is really tough out there. And, right now, so it's like some performers are going to be canceling shows, some aren't. And, that's just the way it is right now. And don't, don't like, there's a lot of performers out there where this is their only means of income, and they have not had any income for 18 months. And some of them may not have gotten any unemployment. So, it really sucks because I mean, like, what are they supposed to do? And, so I guess, there were some people out there. I saw some people who were, shaming people who were touring right now. Not even so much us, but just people in general, like wagging their finger at people for touring and, don't do that. I mean, someone once said something like, do what Nine Inch Nails did and cancel everything. I'm like, yeah, they're millionaires. So it's a lot easier for them to just say, we're going to cancel. There's a big difference between someone who has millions of dollars and is able to cancel a tour and someone who, like, this is all they have. I mean, Graham and I are more fortunate than a lot that, well, I mean, yeah, our incomes took a big hit 2 years in a row. We canceled 2 full tours, a year's worth of tour dates, 2 years in a row. And yeah, we're taking a hit from that. But fortunately we do have other things like our shows and stuff that keep us afloat. So we're a little luckier than most. But, it's not an easy situation for anybody right now. And it's not an easy situation for people. I mean, people want to go out and they want to enjoy things. And, you just got to calculate that risk as to what is a reasonable risk right now and what isn't. And that's what this all comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, we all want to go back. I want to go back to, like, I want to go see New Kids on the Block. I want to go to concerts.
That's the first thing you want to do, huh? That's your first... It's the first thing on your list.
Yeah, that's the first thing I want. I want to go to sporting events and concerts and hang out with big groups of friends and, laugh our asses off. And we've been getting to do kind of that. And the idea of, like, everyone's had it tough for any number of reasons this pandemic. I'm not saying, it's been harder on me at all, but being single and living alone, this has been really challenging. I mean, this is hard. This is hard to, like, come home and eat another meal alone. Like, even going through this and just, like, having these conversations with you, we're like, I think we're going to have to cancel. We're going, all right, now we're canceling the October dates. It's canceled. And then just, like, I make a phone call and then, and I do self-care. I practice all that, but this sucks for everybody. I mean, it's just like a year and a half ago when we were, like, touring and doing shows and, doing live Jimmy Dore shows and getting together for going to rallies. And it feels like 1,000 years ago, man. Like, yeah. I want to go watch MLS, I want to go watch the WNBA, and you can still kind of do that stuff. But, like, we want our full lives back and we can't, and it sucks. And
everybody does.
Everyone wants it back. And that's why it's pandemics are not fun.
So to close out here, and then we're going to hop off of each other's streams. We will be working with the venues to get everybody refunded because, again, we are just canceling this time around with the uncertainty of the pandemic. These dates aren't going to be rescheduled in their current form. We'll definitely be touring in the future. Absolutely. But this actual specific tour that was supposed to be our 2020 tour, it's just not going to happen. I mean, we've had to cancel the same tour 2 years in a row. That's a situation I never thought I'd be in my life, really. but pandemics are a hell of a thing. So here we are. And so we are working with the venues to get everybody refunded. The shows that we ran the ticketing for, we'll be getting the refunds out there as quickly as we can. So we appreciate your understanding and your patience. And California, those shows, we'll see you next month. We'll see you in Sacramento.
A week and a half. It's September.
A couple weeks. Oh yeah, it is September 1st. So we'll see you this month. We'll see you in San Francisco. We'll see you in Sacramento. We'll see you in Los Angeles. Grab those tickets, ronplacone.com, grahamelwood.com, and let's really make it count because unfortunately we're not going to get as many shows as we thought we would. So the ones that we can still do, let's just cherish every minute. And that's kind of my message to everyone out there, you know, wherever you're at, you know, if you get to go to an outdoor music concert or whatever, just cherish every freaking second of it, because things are slowly changing, but they're definitely not, quote, back to normal yet. They're just not. And we're not out of the woods yet. And that really sucks. And we're really sorry. And there you go.
And we're sorry. And, you know, last year's tour was with Brown Paper Tickets, and we know a lot of you had problems. And, you know, if anyone's still having a problem from last year, like, call your bank at that point. But we've got a different ticketing service this time, specifically to not have those same problems again. So it's like Ron said, some of it's the ticketing service we use, some of it is the venue's ticketing service. So we will be working with everybody, and please be patient, and thank you. And again, this sucks. We're sorry. Come see us in California if you can. You got to be fully vaccinated, or at least the test at the Dynasty. Check with the venues protocols, because we have no control over how the venues are running that. So you got to talk to the venues.
We have no control over venue protocols. We have no control over state laws or city laws. We have no control over any of that stuff. Some of you like leave comments and tweets that implying that we do. I assure you we don't. If I had control over any laws, everybody in this fucking country would have healthcare, okay? Or at least everybody in my neighborhood. All right, I don't control laws. I promise you. I promise you.
I wish.
I break some of them, but I don't control any of them.
Yeah, so thank you for everybody's patience on this. Come to the California show. Somebody just put in the chat some Zoom shows. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got to deal with all of this immediate cancellation, but there's going to be some Zoom shows in October, and there might be a really cool, well, there's going to be some bigger, cooler
we'll do something
to Anything Can Happen. Let me just say that we're working on that, shooting that in front of a live studio audience and getting the money together to do that, to make it like a real game show, old school style, like the ones I used to host when I had really long sideburns. So
you can grow those sideburns back. You can grow those sideburns back and join New Kids on the Block. That's what you can do. And then I'm going to go play for the Patriots.
This October is really shaping up.
Guys, there are brighter times ahead.
Go see Ron play in the NFL, everybody. Let's go. I'm going to be in a boy band. So these things are happening. So thanks everybody for your patience and understanding. We very much appreciate it. We're bummed we can't see all of you on the road. We really wanted to. And, you know, be nice and kind to each other and be reasonable. Flipping the fuck out over somebody that doesn't, we don't need any more of that. So, you know, look for facts and data and follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, as I say in the show. So unless there's anything else, Ron, for us to say.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove you from my stream. You remove me from yours. And then we'll see you guys later. And we'll see you in California, and everyone else, we will see you as soon as we safely can.
Yes. We'll see you in California. And then so I'm going to stay live on my YouTube and Rockfin. And
I'm going to stay live on mine.
Okay.
All right.
Brother.
Bye, Graham.
Bye.
All right. I guess that kind of worked, right? I think it did.
It did. I'm still live. But
it did. Oh, you're still going. I'm still on yours.
All right. I'll let you.
You have to remove me. You have to remove me from your stream.
I'm removing you. Goodbye, Ron. God bless.
Bye, Graham. All right.
So, all right. But I still hear Ron on. Yeah,
I still hear you.
Remove me from your stream, like cancel me.
I did.
Oh, what do I got to do? Oh, leave studio. All right, I'm leaving your studio.
Oh, okay, we have to leave each other's studios.
Yeah, all right.
So let me leave your studio.
All right, buddy.
Leaving Graham's studio.
Goodbye.
Okay. Am I?
All right, there we go. So I think I left Ron's studio. Ron left mine. Rockfin. All right, I'm still on Rockfin. That was hilarious. Just that right now. Not that we're canceling tour dates. That sucks. Let me read any of the tips over at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I very much appreciate everybody supporting the show. Welcome everybody over at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Bill, John. Don't lie, the highest guy. OTR Trucker. Robert A. Everyone's talking about the Echo. Robert A. Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Robert, thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com/Graham. I would totally understand you're doing the right thing with how bad a lot of states, mine included, are handling the spread and acting like everything is fine as numbers climb up. Here's some of the ticket money I would have spent in October. Oh, Robert, thank you so much, man. Oh, dude, I really appreciate that. That's really kind of you guys for being understanding. The shit I took a month ago just for saying performers have the right to just made me fucking furious. And I appreciate all of you that have just been super supportive. And yeah, man, not performing, you have no idea how much it sucks. It's like a part of you is like you got to put in a closet or something. It's dead. And I've done some stand-up shows in front of regular crowds, and that's fine, but I can't do all the political stuff. That's what I miss is the shows Ron and I did, where you walk on stage and there's 100 people there who all know you, love you, and I don't have to explain why I don't like Joe Biden to you guys at a comedy club. At a regular show, I got to kind of like, I can do a little political stuff, but they won't. I did this whole why both parties suck thing Sunday at the show, and it did okay. Some people got it. Some people were like, wow, I hadn't thought of that. So we miss doing it. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Cucumber Broccoli. Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thank you, Cucumber Broccoli. Who's enjoying the collapse of organized human civilization? Yeah, it's great. A dated reference from Ron knew the monkeys. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, some shitbirds. Shelly Pickering. Shelly, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Stay safe, guys. Give a quid to Ron. Ron, do the Ron. Thank you, Shelly. Really appreciate it. Yeah, check out John Kemper. We need that general strike, people. John, you're absolutely correct. Thank you so much, man. Do you have control over telling my boss to give us time to? Yes, we control your bosses. We have so much power. You guys got to cancel each other. It's the only way. Cancel culture has gone too far. Doc Terminus, what's up? Yeah, Doc, all the October shows have been canceled. The September shows in California are still happening that are starting in 10 days, 11 days. 10 days. The 11th, San Francisco, still happening. 12th in Sacramento, still happening. 15th in Burbank, still happening. Government Secrets, the 18th in Los Angeles, still happening. Those 4 shows in September are all still happening. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to update my website and take down all the October shows and just leave up the September shows. But the California shows, because all 4 of those venues require proof of vaccine. The Dynasty Typewriter we're doing Government Secrets is the only venue that is saying you can test your way into the show. You can have a negative test if you're not vaccinated. It's the only show that's doing that. So I'm sorry. It sucks. MHC, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thank you for supporting what we do. I've long ago accepted that this pandemic madness will last as long as it lasts. Relying on firm deadlines only leads to disappointment because anti-mask and anti-vax sentiment always extends the need for a lockdown. MHC. Oh God. It's a bummer how right you are. Graham, we can build model yachts together after or something. It's not awkward. No, that's not awkward at all. I was only going to that fucking show because New Orleans canceled all my hippy dippy music in the first place. Fuck this country. Oh, I share your sentiment, Doc. Kate, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Tip: she put the California tour dates are on the screen. You can go to grahamelwood.com for that. So that is what is happening, everybody. People tuning in, what happened to the shows? All the October tour dates have been canceled. They have all been canceled. We are only doing, well, Ron and I are doing 3 shows in September, and then there's Government Secrets as well. So for me, there's 4 shows in September that are on the screen right now. These are the only shows that are happening now. All the October tour dates are getting canceled. We're not rescheduling them. We don't know when. We're just going to have to cancel them because it just wasn't safe. We were going to be in a different city every night almost. We were doing 21 shows in 28 days. And, you know, we didn't want anyone in the audience to get it, or, you know, we didn't want to have a show that became a super spreader because we're doing a different city every night. So what was probably going to happen was some city 3 nights ago was going to call us and go, hey, and then we performed for we did 2 or 3 shows. This is all theoretically. We could have theoretically done 2 or 3 shows while Ron and I potentially were infected and not knowing it because we're vaccinated and asymptomatic or something, and spread it at a bunch of shows. And God forbid if one person came to one of our shows and got really sick or worse because of shows we were doing, I couldn't. Ron and I were like, I can't live with that. So not to mention, that's the worst scenario. Not to mention if we got it, one of us tested positive, and we didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but we just had to be in a hotel room for a week and then cancel shows. And like, it just, the whole scenario was bad. So, yeah, we decided to be better safe than sorry. So that's what's up with that. So that's what's going on. Are we having any opening acts for these dates? Well, the show, the 15th in Burbank at Flappers, Jimmy, I think Jimmy and Steph were going to perform at that. Provided their schedule still works out. Yeah. So, my crypto portfolio is doing all right. Ethereum's at $3,700, coming up to its all-time high. Bitcoin is at 48, doing good. I was looking forward to seeing you in New York, but it's much more important to be safe. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. Rockfin, I make no money off of YouTube. YouTube has stopped paying me as of February 1st. We have been demonetized completely by YouTube. So the only ways that this show is making money is through Patreon, which please support me there, or Rockfin. If you go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, it's free to sign up. I have a lot of free content. You can tip videos there if you want. You can also sign up for $10 a month. It gets you the premium content. The premium content, you get to watch everyone on the channel's premium content for $10 a month. Mine, Ron's, Jimmy, Abby Martin, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, a bunch of people are all on that channel. Richard Medhurst. So for $10 a month, you get a lot of that. So that's the best way to support the channel. And I like Rockfin. They don't censor us. It's blockchain. It's cryptocurrency. So yeah. No, my concern for other rational adults is not misplaced. That's I have a concern for other adults. So I've been a Red Cross volunteer for 20 years. Don't tell me what emotions I'm having or why I'm doing something. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't tell me who I am and what I think. You want to disagree, fine, but don't tell me I'm misplaced. You don't know what you're talking about. So these are all the people on Rockfin. Kate, thank you for putting that up. Also, that's on Rockfin, and this is if you're a Rockfin premium member, is my movie Afghanistan, which you can see me with really long, crazy hair performing for the U.S. military in Afghanistan. That was in 2004 and 6. And yeah, if you want to get an idea what it was like being over there. You see interviews with soldiers in that movie. You see me flying around performing, seeing what being at a fire base is like. It's all shot in Afghanistan, except for the interviews with like family members before I go at the beginning of the movie. But everything is me with a camera in Afghanistan. So watch that movie if you want to know kind of where I'm at emotionally with Afghanistan. Yeah. Thank you, Hyper. An adult cares for others. A child whines about it. Thank you. Yes, I'm looking forward to watching Afghanistan tonight. Is my first premium Rockfin. Awesome. And we're going to be doing some more. Yeah, we're working on. I've been talking to Rockfin about potentially. We're trying to line up shooting. Anything can happen, like on a sound stage. It would take some more money, obviously. So, yeah. Doc Terminus, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, brother. Thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com/Graham. Thanks for doing this show, man. The news sucks, but want you to be well alive. Wow. You should be thinking more selfishly, dude. Fuck everything. Shifting all efforts to Muppet Rising Project. Why are there so many songs about yachts that don't have support yachts? Having a yacht without a support yacht is how dirty people live. Someday we'll find it, a support yacht connection for billionaires and dreamers and me. La, da, 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 da. That's for you, Doc. MHC, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Mid-pandemic comedy tour, maybe. I like that. We left the halftime show. That was the other thing in the last couple of weeks. Ron and I've been talking about this probably for the last week or two. And I'm like, Christ, we can't even call it the post-pandemic tour because the numbers are rising. So I was like, oh boy. Oh. Yeah. Scott Johnson, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Hang in there. Thank you so much. John Kemper, Rockfin is the place to be. I got coin here. Right on. Graham, do I think it's time for forced vaccinations? I don't know. I mean, I understand somebody like, I don't want to be forced to have to take some medication. I don't know what to, I totally understand somebody saying, I don't want this. I don't want you to tell me I have to take this medication. I totally get that. I totally get that. I think what's going to happen, it's like, cigarettes. When I was a stand-up comedian, I started in the 1988. So in the late 80s, early 90s, I was performing all the time. Every comedy club was smoking. Every bar, every restaurant. California in the 90s started to pass, it was probably the first state to pass those, like you can't smoke inside, but everyone was like, wait a minute. And I was a performer going, I don't smoke. Why am I breathing smoke? Why is your bad habit making me unhealthy? Why do I have to do this? The government finally came in. It went state by state, but then it just eventually became, everybody said no. And smokers now have to go outside this little smoking area. No one's forcing them to not smoke. Nobody's saying but they just don't get to smoke everywhere anymore. And unvaccinated people, I don't think they should be forced, but they're just got to understand you don't get to do everything. Sorry. Those are the choices. We all have to make choices to live in a society. Like, you want to live off the grid? Great. You want to not pay taxes and live off the grid? I totally get that. But then does the city have to come pick up your trash? You know what I mean? Like, there's those, you don't want your kids, you want to homeschool your kids because you don't want them to have vaccines or whatever reason. Fine. That's your right. But then do your kids get to play in the school sports, in the sport leagues that the school provides? Does your kid get to be in the recital or the school play? No. You made a choice. That's your choice. You don't get to do everything, everybody. You don't get to do everything. You do not get to do everything. I've lost work. I've made a choice in this life. I don't have kids. Would it be nice to have kids and take them, teach my kids how to surf and watch them play sports and stuff? Yeah, I did that with my nieces and nephews. It was really cool. But I made a choice. You don't get to do everything. You want to have kids? Some people, it's tough to balance kids and a career. Yeah, you got to make choices in life. Everybody doesn't get to do everything. I don't know who the fuck told you get to do everything. Not wearing a mask actually makes it unsafe for all of us. That's why I wear a mask, is to help think about other people. I don't want to get it as well, but I don't want to give it to anybody. What if because I'm really healthy, what if I have COVID and I don't know it and I'm spreading it around? I don't want to do that. So I don't believe we should have like forced vaccinations, but mandates. We've had mandates in schools for decades. You cannot enroll your child, and you haven't been able to enroll a kid in school without all these vaccines. Oh, what vaccine passports? We've had vaccine passports for years. I have one. It's this yellow folding card. I got one 20 years ago. You go to a third world country or something, and it's on a list, like at passport control. When you come back into the country, they won't let you back in. Like, oh, you were in this country. That I had to get a yellow fever shot. I had to get all these things. There's a travel doctor in Los Angeles. There's doctors like that in every major city that say, oh, you're going to these countries, you need to get these shots. So that's a risk I decided to take. I took malaria pills when I went into the Amazon jungle. That's I had to get I could not go. I could choose to not go. We've had vaccine passports for a long time, guys. They've been around for a long time. I don't know why everyone's flipping out. They've been around for a long time. All these friends of mine that travel internationally, they all like, yeah, I've had a vaccine passport for years. People that don't travel internationally or never gone to third world countries have never had to get them, but I've had to. I've been to Brazil, Panama, Indonesia. It's not that hard, man. Yeah, talk to your doctor and make a decision does not equal forced vaccinations. Absolutely. Post-pandemic, fuck you, just kidding tour. Yeah, it's not your personal choice to give someone cancer. COVID is the same. Exactly. Bill Nye found his favorite bong in storage. Congratulations. Kate, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. The first time I flew, it was on Italia. The plane smoking section was an area with a shower curtain. Yeah, I remember. I'm old enough to have flown on planes with smoking sections. We flew to Germany when I was a kid on Lufthansa Airlines, and there was a smoking section on a 747 on an 8-9 hour flight or 10-hour flight or whatever from Chicago to Frankfurt. The flight attendants left all the drink cans and little booze bottles out in buckets and went to take naps. I preferred it to having to ask for half a Coke. Good times. Alcohol and rock salt. It's I mean, if we had a 90% vaccination rate in this country like they have in Iceland, that's again the other issue everybody's missing. All the hospitals are full. All the hospitals are full. Where I'm living, there was just an accident with a school bus and a truck. The school bus was empty. The head of the big hospital, the head of that said, if there would have been kids on that bus, we wouldn't have been able to handle it. So everyone's like, you can't vaccinate me. I did it because I wanted to feel safe and I don't want to give it to anybody else. You know, I have some friends who have pre-existing conditions. And I thought, what if I give it to a friend of mine who maybe can't take the vaccine, or they have a pre-existing condition. So I didn't want to put them at risk. But just so you know, the hospitals are full. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's cool. I hope you don't have a car accident or a heart attack or a stroke or any sort of severe, emergency medical situation, because there's a good chance the hospital by you doesn't have room. Are you okay with that? Because you know where they got room? In Iceland. There's plenty of room in their hospitals in Iceland, and they have a 90% vaccination rate. So just take that into consideration. I was talking to this comic I did a show with on Sunday, and she said her dad died not from COVID, but he had some medical complications, and they weren't able to give him as much care as they probably would have because they were so overburdened with COVID. They gave him just enough. And she's like, so did COVID kill him? No. Mark Maron's girlfriend, the popular comedian with the big podcast who interviewed Obama years ago, he put out there, I mean, it was his girlfriend, felt like heart, was having some heart stuff, but this is last summer or spring, I think. And the hospitals were packed full of COVID patients. So she's like, it's probably nothing. Maybe it's heartburn. Turned out she had some kind of rare heart disease that had they gotten it early, maybe she wouldn't have died, and she died. So I just want everybody to take those into consideration. Just think about that. You can yell at me. I read this doctor and this test and it's all a scam and plandemic. Okay. 90% vaccination rate in Iceland. No overflow. No, the hospitals are not full. 60% vaccination rate in America, overflowing hospitals. You don't want to trust. And this, they're like, oh, so you're just Graham's a shill for big pharma now. Well, at some point, we've all taken medication. Do you just trust I rarely take prescription drugs. Rarely. I think I let my immune system, I take all natural remedies. Sometimes that doesn't work when it gets so bad. And this happened to me about 3 or 4 years ago. I always cure myself when I get a cold or something. I'm super healthy. My immune system, within a couple of days, I feel better. And it wouldn't go away. It was like a week or two. It was like 2 weeks of a cold. I was like, what? And then I went to the doctor, like, you got bronchitis. I don't know of an all natural remedy for bronchitis. So I had to take a prescription drug. Now, did I sell out for big pharma when I did that? No. In an extreme example, I needed to do that. I went to my doctor and they said, you should do that. A global pandemic is an extreme example. It's a real disease. Where did it come from? Maybe it came from the US. Maybe it came from the lab in Fort Detrick. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the CIA dropped it in China to blame China because they're kicking our ass economically. Those are all just my guesses and opinions. I don't know. but I know it's severe enough. And I talk to friends of mine that work in medicine. They're like, it's don't wear a mask. Pray for us. That's what my doctor said. Pray for us. My regular general practitioner, pray for us. So you want to read a bunch of stuff on the internet? Fine. Go to your local hospital's COVID ward and see what it's like. There's people protesting outside of the fucking COVID hospital here. And just, can we trust big pharma? They do stuff for profit, absolutely. But as I've stated, and this is where the anti-vaxxers always just tune out or don't listen or refuse to listen. They're not giving the vaccine to poor countries because they can't make enough money from it. That tells me the vaccine's good, it works, and it's effective. They just don't give a shit about poor people. Big corporations never give a shit about poor people. So I just don't, that doesn't make any sense. So why did Bill Gates want to deny releasing the vaccine patent for free? He didn't want that, and he took shit for it as in the mainstream media as he should. Because there's no profit motive in giving a vaccine away for free. There's no profit in that. What does that tell you? Is the vaccine dangerous and bad and they're going to put computer chips in our head? No. Shit, I saw Bill Burr make a great point. He goes, if this is all about controlling people, why would they give the vaccine to people that are like doing what they're told and, this makes sense, I'm going to take the vaccine? Why would they want to kill off the people that don't want to, that follow the rules? No, they want people that follow the rules. But thanks to that, my tour is canceled. So you guys have whatever theories you want. We're going to keep debating this shit for the next year while everything's going to keep being open and shut down and hospitals are going to be overrun. And you're going to know somebody that couldn't get into a hospital because of COVID patients. You know what I think they should do? You don't want to take the vaccine? Totally your choice. You know what we should do? We should save like whatever the percentage is, 10 hospital beds per hospital, whatever, 20, however big the hospital is, should be left open for non-COVID related emergencies. So if you didn't get vaccinated, if you got vaccinated and you need to go to the hospital, there's a bed for you. If you didn't get vaccinated and you need to go to the hospital, there's only so many beds. And if the non-vaccinated COVID beds are full, you don't get these empty ones because we need to leave them empty in case there's an apartment fire, a 10-car pileup, whatever, a bus accident, something like that. Oh, a natural disaster comes in and, a bunch of people need hospital beds. That sounds reasonable to me. That sounds reasonable. You made your choice. So guess what? You don't have to get vaccinated. No one's forcing a vaccine on you at all. Just know if you have to go to the hospital, there might not be a bed for you because we're leaving some open for actual people that need stuff. You made your choice. We're giving you the freedom to choose. You don't get we got to keep we should be keeping at least some of the hospital beds open then. Because I'm fucking furious. What if I get in a car accident or I have a heart attack or whatever, and I'm denied because a bunch of fucking people that didn't want to get vaccinated are taking up all the beds? I want you to think about that. Oh, you didn't think about that. Got it. Oh, now my computer froze up. All the stupidity made my computer freeze. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulty. My computer froze up. All right. Might have lost everything now. Sorry. Yeah, we lost everything. All right. Well, that's probably the show then, huh? I don't smoke weed. No, I didn't go get high. I don't smoke weed. I don't do that. All right. All right. I'm going to go sing karaoke over on Rockfin. I don't know if anyone's over there because that stream got shut down, which sucks because I had to reboot my old computer. So I'm going to go over to Rockfin and sing a karaoke song. You're more than welcome to join. Yeah. U.S. veteran just died in Texas because no ICU beds available. He had gallstones, which are easily treated by qualified surgeons. He died of organ failure at age 46, waiting for a surgeon. Gallstones, the most treatable thing. Gallstones. I just hope you don't get gallstones. So any moderate thing, anything, heart palpitations, dizzy, something. That's what we need to do. Set aside whatever percentage of beds, 10% of the beds are left open for people like that guy. The unvaccinated, sure, if there's space, we'll try to handle you, but there's nothing. Sorry. You made a choice. Your body, your choice. Well, the greater good. You didn't care about anybody else but yourself, so now we got to deal with the greater good. The greater good means we need to keep some hospital beds open for regular medical stuff like gallstones. Fucking died from gallstones in the year 2021. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, October tour dates by Ron and I are completely canceled. We are still performing in California starting next week, September 11th at San Francisco, 12th in Sacramento. Those shows are still on. And the 15th, Ron Placone and I are doing those 3 dates. Flappers in Burbank on September 15th, Sacramento Punchline the 12th, Cobb's in San Francisco on the 11th. Those 3 venues require proof of vaccine to get in. No ifs, ands, or buts. Government secrets on the 18th at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. They require proof of vaccine or negative COVID test. Talk to the venues about that. We have no control over that. And you also don't have to come. Those are your choices. I'm clearly irrational. That's not irrational. Why did the gallstone guy have to die? That's not irrational. People are already proposing this. Not taking the vaccine and not caring that a guy died from gallstones, that's rational? Okay. Got it. You don't care that other people die. You just don't want to. I don't want the jab. There you go. Fine. Don't get it. Yeah. The medical needs. I'm a big Star Trek fan. Here's a quote from Spock. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Move to India, I always say. If you don't want to get vaccinated, move to India. Move to some poor third world country that can't afford the vaccine. Move to Angola. They had a polio outbreak a couple years ago. See what that's like. Thanks for watching, everybody. The idiots will be our undoing. See you over at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood.